Hey, I'm John. This is Behind the Hammer, and we're here with Joseph and Melissa Irons of Irons Brothers Construction. Guys, tell us about framing.
It's actually a very exciting part. Big loads of lumber get delivered. A lot of demo actually happens, structural demo that allow the new framing to take place.
This really highlights the pre-planning that we do, and now we can see all that planning that went into the architecture and design in the framing phase. What it really feels like is the structure is coming together.
We're both really excited. Last 2 weeks, probably the biggest visual changes we're going to see in the life of the project.
So aside from framing being fun because everything's sort of coming together visually, what are some of the things that you run into or opportunities you find during the framing phase?
Working on an older home and adding on a story, we had a vaulted ceiling. We had some unique opportunities to take advantage of those spaces by suspending the structure straight across so we can get the utilities between the floors. Many people are used to an attic or a crawl space, but when we're putting on a third floor, vaulted roof, very little room for utilities, it made a lot of sense to plan this cavity between the floors that we could run mechanical, electrical, and plumbing and not fight the framing.
The best part is there's no soffits. So we haven't had to put those lines from the second and third floor into any kind of jog in the wall, opening up the space and just making it more beautiful. So planning really is important.
Building this into the home so that they're accessible, but in between the floors is really cool. Are there any other benefits to doing it that way?
So the value we have on these access points in the house, if they ever have to update anything, they can actually go between the floors, move some utilities around without having to cause a lot of structural issues with the home.
I imagine it's a big shift for the homeowner when you start to take the plans off the blueprint and bring them into 3D, right, in the framing phase. But through those framing walkthroughs and things like that, do a lot of questions come up, and how do you handle that?
So there are a few things I always make sure I have on site. One is my handy dandy smartphone or iPad so I can check the project calendar and progress, see where we're at. The other is a tape measure to verify everything is actually measured out to what the plans show.
So beyond validating the schedule and making sure what you're actually doing matches the plans, are there other aspects or benefits that can occur during these frame walks?
Sometimes those framing inspections find opportunities, like the homeowners now have an extra storage space in their bathroom because of the framing walk.
It's a new storage area in the main floor bath. There was a cabinet right over the toilet. It was horrible. Saw some extra space in the walkway. Cody framed it up for us. We're so happy to see that coming to life.
You know, through this whole video series, what I think we've been really focused on is proper prior planning and all of the work that you guys do that goes into that to try to anticipate issues and set expectations and have a plan. What I'm seeing is kind of this fourth P word, if you will, which is pivot, with the ability to be flexible, right? Because as the house is shaping up, coming off of blueprints and becoming a framed up home, you're still able to find opportunities and capitalize on them that are ultimately going to benefit the homeowner. Framing's not just, hey, the house is coming together, this looks visual, but there's an important structural element to what you're doing in this framing phase, right?
We don't want, a windstorm, earthquake to crash the building down. So that's where shear comes in. Shear just helps lock it together, tie it down to the foundation, which is a concrete structure holding everything together.
They're framing the deck off the main floor right now. Very recently, they got the whole third story framed and sheathed. They got the whole elevator shaft sheathed.
Well, I think a good segue from the shear walls and the importance of making sure the structure is sound is going to come up in our next episode when we really talk about the weather that you guys had to deal with over the course of this project. Joseph, Melissa, thank you so much. Looking forward to the next Behind the Hammer.